Okay, guys, I thought I'd give you a quick rundown on the Lee APP press. I just set this up yesterday. Um, Setup was pretty straightforward. There's another video online that I'll link to that a guy kind of goes through some of the setup that makes it made it a little easier. One thing I will say, a lot of when I mounted my first plate for my Lee turret press, you can see it's in a little bit on the bench, and that was so the press rested right up against the edge of the bench here. But as you'll see, some other guys, this bottle, the width of the bottle, when I use the same mounting bracket, I put another lower bracket on this so I could just swap these out when I need to use them. It put it too close to the bench, so the bottle was in at an angle, was crooked, wouldn't go in. So I actually took a Dremel and hollowed this out a little bit to allow room for the edge of the the edge of the bottle here in the lid, so that I could get the die all the way up in there and secured. And it's still not perfect by any means. This bottle is wanting to come out on me at times, but the only other thing, I've got this full loaded from top to bottom. If you back off the little plate here where one drops all the way down, you can get 19. These are 45. You can get 19 45s in here. Probably the trickiest part of the setup is just getting the shell, the holder here set up. A bolt, you get a long bolt that goes down through the top. There's a nut that secures it. There's two of these little hole selectors. There's an A and a B. I originally had the B on here, but the hole was a little tight. Some of the shells that have a little bulge are actually getting stuck and not dropping through. So I ended up swapping this out for the A piece, which gave me a little more room for the 45s to drop down in. This is the only little thing that's kind of tricky to set. But I said you go through the directions. You once you get these bottom two pieces on here, then it's just a matter of just setting this in, adjusting it so it's about a nickel's worth or nickel's worth space in between the bottom of the holder here and this little plate. And you do that with just the long shaft. There's 3 nuts that you use to adjust it. It's pretty nice. It's pretty simple to set up. Didn't take me long to figure it out. And then you center it over the case. You have a case in here. You look down through the hole. Make sure this is all centered before you tighten it down. Once I got that done, I started running through. I was having an issue where the spring was kind of binding up. This bottom red plate here was not sliding back. And I just took a little bit of graphite and put on that, and that helped. I think silicone worked better if you had some silicone spray. So you probably, depending on how dirty the brasher is, you probably, want to take this off and clean all these plastic parts pretty routinely and hit them with some silicone to keep them sliding real easy. Once I did that, then the next problem I started having was my primers weren't falling all the way through. So I needed to lower the pin a little bit lower than I would normally in my regular turret press in order for that pin to, to make sure those were falling all the way through, because it was hanging up. It was the primers were coming out, but they weren't dropping in, so the shell would hang up and cause everything to hang up as I was going. But right now I've got it adjusted pretty well. Lee makes a little basket, one of these little guys. They make one of these with a little bracket that I'll have here to catch the cases as they come out. I've got that on Amazon. I think that comes tomorrow. But for now, I'm just dropping them off into a bucket down below. They all drop about the same every time, so they drop in the bucket. But I'll go ahead and run through 19 of these and give you guys an idea how this works. So, already gifted up. Let's go way back, drop one down. All right, let's go. So, pushes it under, decaps. Next one pushes it out. And the handle's pretty easy. You will get some primers that are a little harder. As you can see, now that everything's kind of adjusted, and you can see how fast you can go through these. Just about as fast as you can pull the handle, really. Oh, that one didn't get... See, that case may have a burr or something on it, or didn't quite want to slide in all the way. And you'll get those. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. You'll get those. And then see, wants to hang up. So that case probably has a little ding or something on it that's causing it not to go through there. Let's go and finish these out. Last 3, and boom. Just like that. So that was 19 cases. I said once you get it adjusted, it works pretty good. It's not perfect. You're gonna you have to keep an eye on it. Sometimes you're gonna get out of sequence or something's gonna get stuck. When that happens, just stop and fix it. It's pretty easy and just keep on trucking. I do have I have Lee's universal loader, the four tube loader coming with the what do you call it, the bucket that sits on top, the collet or the something the collator or something like that. The red bucket that sits on top that you just dump in and give it a shake, and it'll drop all the cartridges down in. And then you empty one, spin it, empty another, so you can load up 4 times as much all in one shot. So that'll also help with the speed. So I've got that coming too. But so far, pretty happy with it. It's not it's a lot of plastic parts. I would definitely probably get some of these, some of these pieces that you're using a lot. I would get some extras ordered from Lee just to have them on hand in case they break, because they are all plastic. But so far so good. I've ran through about probably 300 cases so far, and no issues. Works just fine. I'm just using my regular universal decapping die. Had to drop the pin down a little bit lower, and then the regular number 2 shell holder plate that it comes with on there. But other than that, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to set up and work with. Pretty happy with it for $75. I don't think you can go wrong. All right, see you in the next video.